let's talk Kobbie Mainoo. Let's hope the biases are all gone from Danny Mill this evening. Manchester United midfielder, just 18 years old, receiving his first call up to the England squad for the upcoming friendlies. We'll have live for you here on talkSPORT against Brazil and Belgium. He's originally named in the under-21s, but he has been promoted to the senior side. It will be Brazil on Saturday. It will be Belgium next Tuesday as well. The final games before the squad is named for Euro 2024. So does Kobbie Mainoo have a future in England's midfield very much in the short term?
In the short term, I'm not so sure. I'm not convinced. He is an outstanding player, has unbelievable ability, fabulous potential. He's 14 games in to his career at the moment. For me, it's too early to throw him into the pressures and the cauldron of that. I know people say that, if you're young enough, you're good enough.
And play for Manchester United, high pressure environment.
Results haven't been great. Performance. You're a Man United fan. You can probably pick 4 or 5 games where he's been very good across the whole game. He's been taken off in 10 of those 14 games that he started. There'll be a reason for that. He's a young lad. He's learning the game. Look at players that we've had in the past that have gone in and haven't, Ross Barkley, when he was very, very young, was ripping up the place in club football. Jack Wilshere was sensational. But these players had played 50, 60, 70, 80 games, at club level, have proven it over a length of time. Kobbie Mainoo is a fantastic talent, has huge amounts of ability, but that's what it is at the moment. It's still potential. He has to realise that potential over the course of time to say, okay, now I'm going to dislodge one of those England players. You've got players, Conor Gallagher's been doing it for several seasons, out on loan. Declan Rice has been doing it for a long, long time. Phil Foden's taken him, 5 or 6 years, to build his way through to now become a guaranteed starter of Manchester City, at times. So, yes, he is a very, very good talent. But when you're talking of players that need one of the most crucial roles in football is that holding midfield role, the way that teams play in this day and age. Yes, he deserves maybe to be on the periphery and be involved and see what it's about, and that's what they'll be doing. They're just having a look, seeing how he deals with that type of pressure. It's a different type of pressure playing international football. He will go on to be, if he carries on the same trajectory, he will be a magnificent player for a club, whatever club that is, and also for an international level. But sometimes it can be too soon, and you have to be very, very careful of that just because he's played a handful of very good games for Manchester United doesn't mean he's ready to be thrown into an England team. There
are some things I agree with you on there, some not, but I think the talent is there, clearly. He hasn't got the full rounded game that you'd want to see from an England international or an England starter right now, and that's obviously because of the inexperience and the age.
Compare him to Rashford. Rashford at that age, year older maybe, had unbelievable potential, unbelievable talent, was drip-fed in from time to time. Has he really kicked on to that level?
Yeah, but we're not really discussing whether he's going to improve, whether he'll be any better in the future. What we're saying is, can he help England now? And because of his style of play, there is a gap in the England team for a midfielder alongside Declan Rice who can help the possession tick over, who can get about the pitch. He's shown that he's got real qualities in terms of sparking attacks for his side. He can get forward. He's scored some fantastic goals already. All right, maybe not the physical element that a Rice can bring. The reading of the game isn't quite there, but that will come.
One league goal he scored.
That will come over time. Yeah, I mean, listen, his job's not to score goals.
No, but
he's shown that in front of goal he hasn't got an issue for his position.
Well, one goal.
Well, you've seen him score some goals.
Well,
a few goals already. Yeah, but he scored a few goals already.
So, what I'm saying is,
you didn't enjoy the goal against Wolves?
He's an incredible talent.
The little nutmeg. Bottom corner, 94th minute winner. You didn't think that showed some talent?
I could pull you out. Give me some time. I could pull you out a dozen players that have played for Manchester United, that have played a lot more games and started off brilliantly, that have disappeared. There are players in your Champions League final winning squad of 99 that were involved, disappeared off the face of the planet.
But that's irrelevant.
It's not.
It's irrelevant.
Just because you're good enough to play 14, 15 games doesn't mean you're good enough to go into an England side. There's a huge difference.
Listen,
There's
I know
a huge difference.
But right now...
And you're talking about England under severe pressure. Expectation is to win the tournament.
Mm-hmm.
That's very, very difficult for Harry Kane. That's very, very difficult for the top players with top mentality that have been there and seen it, done it. But to throw an 18-year-old into that pressure, you've no idea how he's going to react.
We've done it. Wayne Rooney came in.
Wait, no.
Didn't he? 18 years old?
No, don't even go there.
What?
Wayne Rooney...
This is the guy, by the way, that said Jurgen Klopp wasn't that good. It was about 20 minutes ago.
Wayne Rooney was by far and away one of the best players of his age we've ever seen.
I know.
Ever seen.
But I know, but...
He came in,
but my point is...
He scored a hat-trick on debut.
But age didn't hold him back.
But that wasn't...
No one went, he's 18 years old.
But he was mature. His game knowledge was of a 27, 28-year-old. He went into the team and he was a guaranteed starter every single week. Kobbie Mainoo's not. Rooney was better than every single player in that Everton side, was better than most players in that England team at 17, 18. He was exceptional. Exceptional, without fail. Those players are very, very few and far between. And that's why
When did Bellingham get his England opportunity? 17, I think it was. And he just moved to Dortmund. He'd played a few games.
He had to play a few games.
25 games at Birmingham.
He played a lot more games
But he wasn't even a starter at Birmingham City in the Championship.
He played a lot more games than that. He was far more experienced than Mainoo is.
Listen, this is not me saying that I think Kobbie Mainoo should start for England. But because of the way that he plays the game and because of a lack of other players playing well in his position right now,
okay, then,
I think he deserves that opportunity.
Rico Lewis, is he not better? He's played in midfield for Man City.
If you wanted him in there, I mean, I wouldn't have an issue with it.
But
I wouldn't have an issue with it.
But
the manager makes the choice.
But this is what I'm saying. That there are other good players in and around it that are still potential. There's a huge difference between... There's an old adage in football, 50 league games until you can say you've actually made it. You've got to get to that point because there are a lot of players, and I'm talking Premier League games, that get to that don't quite make it. That's 2 full seasons effectively because you're going to be in and out for a couple. There'll be a little injury in there. So you've got to play 2 full seasons until you can really call yourself a proper Premier League player. There are lots of players that never got to that. They played 10, 15, 25. I'm not saying he's going to be one of those, but there's a huge difference between playing a handful of games, good games. Has he been exceptional in every one of those 14 games?
No, he hasn't. But has every England player been exceptional in every game that they've played?
But you're talking about...
we know they haven't.
But you're talking about a body of work.
No, but you're putting a higher standard on Kobbie Mainoo than all the other players in the England squad because they haven't been exceptional. They're not exceptional every time they take to the pitch.
Well, Kyle Walker is.
Every time he's on the pitch, listen, you're talking about a world-class player there. I get that.
If you're going to talk about...
But Harry Maguire will be starting for England.
If you're going to talk about percentages, then yes. You know, the body of work that Kyle Walker's done over hundreds and hundreds of games, he's probably had the same amount of bad games as Kobbie Mainoo has this season. Phil Foden is exceptional, is fantastic. Harry Kane, Bukayo Saka, Declan Rice.
Cool. But let's talk about Kobbie Mainoo's position.
All I'm saying
let's talk about who might take Kobbie Mainoo's place.
These players have a body of work.
Midfield 3 for England. A lot of people would put Bellingham as a number 10 right now.
Yep.
Declan Rice. I personally would have those two as the 2 deeper, and I'd play someone like Maddison or Foden as a number 10.
But then you're taking away from Bellingham.
I know that, but I don't think the deeper position alongside Rice, I don't think we've got a standout player there right now. Calvin Phillips has lost form. No. I think Jordan Henderson might start in there. Some people might say so. For me, I would probably change things around in the midfield right now just to accommodate as many good players as possible. It's all good talking about Kyle Walkers and Harry Kanes and whoever else. When it comes to Kobbie Mainoo's position, there aren't standout players.
Is he an out-and-out defensive midfield player?
No, he isn't, but could he play alongside Declan Rice? Well, absolutely he could.
So therefore you're throwing a young player in. John Stones would be better in that position.
We're going to come back to this in a moment. We'll talk about the likes of, and we've seen a message here from Sam, Ross Barkley, James Ward-Prowse, for example, not included. Other players that could be taking that role, the likes of Ruben Loftus-Cheek.
But they're not holding midfield players.
But they could play in that position. We'll talk about those included.
John Stones could play in that position.
We'll talk about those included as well. The likes of Jordan Henderson, who could be starting alongside Declan Rice.